Ladies and gentlemen, there's something powerful about a woman who chooses to walk alone. Society often teaches us that we should seek approval, that we should be in the company of others to feel validated, to feel complete. But let me tell you, the greatest journeys are often walked alone, not because we are isolated, but because we are fully present with ourselves, learning to trust, to grow, and to step into the fullness of who we are meant to be. A woman who walks alone is not weak. She is not lost. She is discovering her own power. When the world tells us that solitude equals loneliness, we must remind ourselves that solitude is not the absence of people. It is the presence of your own spirit, your own voice, your own dreams. A woman who walks alone does not wander aimlessly. She walks with purpose, with intention. Every step she takes is an affirmation that she is enough, that she does not need the approval of others to walk her own path. In the silence of walking alone, there is clarity. In the stillness, there is strength. Solitude is where the seeds of greatness are planted. It's in the quiet moments when you face yourself head on, when there's no one to lean on but your own resilience, that you begin to grow into the person you were always meant to be. But it's not always easy. There will be fear. Fear of what others think, fear of what might happen if you take that next step, fear of not knowing if you can handle the journey, but it is that very fear that will teach you your true strength. Fear doesn't have to control you. Fear can be the force that pushes you forward, that ignites your passion, that calls you to rise. A woman who walks alone is not afraid to redefine success for herself. Society might say that success looks like a partner, a family, a title, but a woman who walks alone understands that success is found in the quiet moments of choosing herself. It's found in building her own dreams, crafting her own life, and finding joy in the simple act of moving forward, no matter how small the steps may seem. And there will be obstacles. There will be times when you question yourself. There will be voices that tell you it's too hard, too lonely, too much to handle. But here's the truth: resilience is born in the struggle. When you learn to rise from the ground, to dust yourself off, you will see that you are far stronger than you ever imagined. The woman who walks alone is free. She is not bound by the expectations of others. She does not live for the applause or approval of the world. She walks with the confidence of knowing she is enough just as she is. And in that freedom, there is peace. She creates her own rhythm, her own rules, her own journey, and in doing so, she is unstoppable. Let me remind you, your journey, your path, your walk alone is not just for you. As you walk, you inspire. Your courage becomes the light that others can follow. Your resilience becomes the beacon that others will see and say, if she can walk alone, so can I. And that, my sisters, is how we change the world. Not by waiting for others to walk with us, but by walking with strength, with conviction, and with purpose. So I say to every woman here today, walk alone, embrace it, own it, because when you do, you will find not only yourself, but a power that the world cannot take away. And in your journey, you will lift others to walk with their heads held high. Thank you. There's a unique kind of strength that comes from walking alone, a strength that is often misunderstood by those who expect us to follow the crowd, to fit into predefined roles, or to seek approval in every step we take. We live in a world where being alone is often equated with being lost, with being incomplete, or with something being wrong. But let me tell you today that there is nothing wrong with walking alone. In fact, there is something incredibly powerful about it. A woman who walks alone is not weak or helpless. She is strong and unapologetic. She is not lost. She is on a journey of self-discovery, carving out a path that is uniquely hers. She doesn't need to walk in the footsteps of others to know where she is going. She may not have all the answers, but she has the courage to take each step without waiting for permission or a crowd to follow. And it's in this solitary walk that she begins to find herself not through the expectations of others, but through the quiet, powerful process of becoming the woman she is meant to. When we talk about walking alone, it's easy to mistake solitude for loneliness, as if being alone is somehow a weakness, a sign of something lacking. But solitude is not about emptiness, it's about fullness. It's about finding strength in the quiet spaces, about allowing yourself to be fully present with who you are without the noise of the world telling you who you should be. In those moments when you stand alone, you come face to face with the raw, unfiltered version of yourself, no distractions, no expectations, no limitations. And in that space, you discover just how powerful you truly are. You see, solitude is not a punishment, it's a privilege. It's in those solitary moments that we grow, not because we're isolated from others, but because we can finally listen to our own thoughts, hear our own heart, and connect with the depths of our own spirit. When we are alone, we are given the gift of clarity. We are able to see who we really are, what we really want, and what we're truly capable of. Without the influence of others, we begin to understand the power of our own choices and how much control we have over the direction of our lives. In solitude, we are able to heal. There is a space in solitude where we can let go of the weight we've been carrying, the judgments, the doubts, the fears that have been placed upon us by the world or by our past experiences. When alone, we can shed what no longer serves us, allowing ourselves the freedom to step into a new version of ourselves. This is where true growth happens, not when we are surrounded by others, but when we are alone with our thoughts, our dreams, and our ambitions. That is when we rise to meet the challenges that once seemed impossible. Embracing solitude is an act of courage. It's choosing to stand firm in your own truth, even when the world tells you it's easier to blend in. It's having the courage to trust yourself enough to walk a path that may not always be easy, but one that is yours alone to walk. In those moments when you are walking alone, you discover what it truly means to be self-reliant. You learn to trust your own decisions, to rely on your own inner wisdom, and to believe in your own strength. And in that belief, you become unstoppable. Solitude allows you to reconnect with your passions, your purpose, and your desires. It is in those quiet, personal moments that you can cultivate a deeper connection to the things that matter most to you. You can hear the whispers of your heart, the calling that may have been drowned out by the noise of life. And when you embrace that, you tap into a reservoir of strength that is all your own strength, that does not come from the opinions or validations of others, but from the deep well of belief in yourself. When you walk alone, you are not less than others, you are more. You are more because you've learned the art of standing on your own, of navigating the world with confidence, and of trusting that even in the silence, you are not truly alone. You are enough, and in embracing solitude, you unlock the strength that lies within you. There is an incredible power in standing on your own, in knowing that you are your own greatest ally, your own unwavering support system. We've been taught that we need others to complete us, to guide us, to help us find our way. But the truth is, the greatest power lies in learning to rely on yourself. It's in those moments when you realize that you have everything you need within you, that you stop waiting for someone else to come along and give you permission to be great. Self-reliance is not about being isolated. It's about discovering that you are enough just as you are. It's about realizing that you don't need to wait for external validation, approval, or encouragement to move forward. You can trust your own instincts, believe in your own decisions, and take action with the faith that you are capable of navigating whatever comes your way. When you trust yourself, you tap into a deep well of confidence that empowers you to face any challenge with courage, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the strength to rise again. There is an undeniable freedom that comes with self-reliance. When you no longer depend on others to make you feel whole, when you stop looking to the world to tell you your worth, you become unstoppable. The world becomes a place where you are free to create, to build, and to take the risks that are necessary to reach your dreams. You stop waiting for the perfect conditions, the right time, or the perfect person to come into your life and make things happen. You become the force that moves things forward. You take ownership of your own journey, and with that ownership comes a sense of freedom that cannot be taken away. The power of self-reliance is not about being perfect. It's about knowing that you are enough even in your imperfection. It's about being able to stand tall when the world around you seems uncertain, knowing that you have everything within you to navigate whatever challenges arise. Self-reliance doesn't mean that you don't ask for help or seek advice. It means that you know when to trust others and when to trust yourself. It means that you are not afraid to make decisions, to take risks, and to stand by your choices, even when they lead you down paths that are unfamiliar or uncomfortable. When you choose to rely on yourself, you step into your own power. You begin to see challenges as opportunities for growth, not obstacles. You start to recognize that you have the ability to adapt, to pivot, and to find your way no matter what the world throws at you. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances or other people's opinions. You are the one driving your life forward. There is something sacred about being self-reliant. It's about knowing that you can face the storms of life and still stand tall. It's about having faith in your ability to weather the tough times and to rise stronger because of them. Self-reliance is a declaration that you believe in yourself, that you trust your journey, and that you have everything inside of you to make it through. It's a mindset that shifts you from being a passenger in your own life to being the driver. You are the author of your own story, and the moment you realize that nothing can stop you from writing a future that is your own. In a world that often tells us to look outward for answers, the true magic comes when we learn to look inward. The power of self-reliance lies in the belief that we are not just capable, we are limitless, and that everything we need to rise, to succeed, and to thrive is already within us. When you step into that truth, you unlock a power that can change everything. Fear and doubt have a way of creeping into our lives when we least expect it. They whisper in our ears, telling us we aren't enough, that we're not ready, or that we'll never make it. These voices, whether they come from within or from the world around us, have the power to paralyze us if we let them. But what if I told you that fear and doubt are not signs of weakness? What if I told you that they are signs of courage? Because it takes immense bravery to face something that terrifies you and still choose to move forward. Fear doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It means you're growing, stretching beyond your comfort zone, and entering a place where the possibility of transformation exists. Every time you feel that knot in your stomach, that voice telling you to stop or retreat, understand that it is merely a signal that you are on the verge of something great. It's when we choose to move through that fear, when we refuse to let it control us, that we begin to unlock parts of ourselves we never knew existed. Doubt, too, is a force that tests us, but it does not have to defeat us. Doubt is a reminder that we are human and that we are constantly evolving, questioning, and seeking growth. It's easy to doubt ourselves when the road ahead is unclear, when the future feels uncertain, or when things don't go according to plan. But it's in those moments of doubt that our true strength is revealed. We don't overcome doubt by pretending it doesn't exist. We overcome it by choosing to believe in ourselves, even when we aren't sure of the outcome. We face doubt head on and say, even though I am uncertain, I will still move forward. I will still take the next step, even if it's only one small step. When we allow fear and doubt to control us, we miss out on the potential for greatness that lies just beyond them. The key is not to avoid fear, but to face it, to stare it in the face and take one step anyway. It's in those moments of discomfort when we choose to keep moving despite the fear that we grow. Each step taken in fear is a step taken in faith. And the more we practice walking through fear, the easier it becomes to take on greater challenges. Every woman who has ever achieved anything extraordinary has had to face her own fears and doubts. It's part of the process. There will always be that moment of uncertainty, that voice telling you to stop, to play it safe, to stay where it's comfortable. But you will never know what you are truly capable of unless you choose to move past that moment. Fear and doubt are not signs that you should turn back. They are signals that you are pushing the boundaries of your own growth. They are part of the blueprint for transformation. There is a beauty in uncertainty. There is a power in choosing to walk even when you can't see the full path ahead. You don't need to know all the answers. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to trust that each step forward, no matter how small, is moving you closer to your destiny. Trust that on the other side of fear is not just success, but self-discovery, and that in pushing through, you are becoming the person you were always meant to be. So the next time fear rises up and doubt tries to take root, remind yourself that they are simply part of the journey. They do not define you. They only show you how far you've come and how much further you're capable of going. You are stronger than the doubt, braver than the fear, and more resilient than you could ever imagine. And with each challenge you face, you will find that you are not only overcoming fear and doubt, you are mastering them. And in doing so, you are unlocking your true power. For far too long, we've allowed the world to define what success should look like, what it should feel like, what it should feel like, what it should sound like. We've been told that success is measured by the titles we hold, the accolades we collect, or the approval we receive from others. But let me ask you, what if success isn't about meeting someone else's standard? What if success isn't about how much money you make, or how many followers you have, or how many boxes you've checked off on someone else's list? What if success is about walking in your own truth, living on your own terms, and embracing the journey that is uniquely yours? Success in its purest form is the realization that you are aligned with your purpose. It's waking up every day knowing that you are living out your truth, that you are doing what sets your soul on fire, and that your life is a reflection of your passions, not someone else's idea of what you should be. For too long, we've been told that success looks the same for everyone, but I want to challenge you to redefine success for yourself. You don't have to fit into anyone else's mold. You don't have to follow the script that society hands you. Success is about doing what makes you feel alive, what makes you excited to face the day, and what brings you peace in your heart. In the same way, we often find ourselves living out other people's definitions of success. We also find ourselves searching for purpose in places that aren't true to who we are. We may chase dreams that were never our own, or try to live up to expectations that others have set for us. But purpose is not something that can be handed to you. Purpose is something that you must uncover within yourself. It is not about living someone else's dream. It is about finding what lights a fire in your soul and pursuing it, regardless of the challenges or obstacles that may come your way. Your purpose is a reflection of who you are at your core. And when you connect with that purpose, you will find that everything else falls into place. Redefining success means rejecting the idea that there's one formula for a fulfilling life. It means allowing yourself the freedom to create your own path. Success is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about staying true to what you value, not what others value. When you live with purpose, you stop chasing after things that don't matter and start creating a life that feels meaningful and authentic. You understand that success doesn't come from having everything figured out, but from having the courage to keep going, to keep evolving, to keep believing in yourself, even when things don't look the way you imagined. Purpose is not something that always comes easy. It takes time, self-reflection, and sometimes a lot of trial and error. But once you find your purpose, once you truly understand what makes you come alive, it becomes the driving force in your life. It gives you the clarity to make decisions that are in alignment with your true self, not decisions made out of fear or because of someone else's opinion. Purpose is the fuel that keeps you going when the road gets tough, and success is not about reaching the destination, but about the journey you take in pursuit of your truth. You are the author of your own success story. Don't let anyone else define it for you. Don't let external standards or comparisons tell you whether or not you've made it. Success isn't about fitting in. It's about standing out in the way that only you can. It's about having the courage to walk in your own lane, to trust your instincts, and to be unapologetic about your path. The world may tell you that success looks a certain way, but when you take the time to redefine success for yourself, you will realize that the greatest form of success is living a life that is aligned with who you truly are. And when you do that, you will not only find success, you will find purpose, fulfillment, and the peace that comes from knowing you are exactly where you are meant to be. Resilience is a word that gets thrown around a lot, but do we truly understand what it means? Resilience is not just about bouncing back after a setback, it's about rising stronger, wiser, and more determined than before. It's the ability to keep going when everything inside of you is screaming to give up, to stay standing when the world around you seems to be falling apart. Resilience is not just about surviving the storm, it's about learning to dance in the rain and coming out on the other side with more grace, more strength, and more belief in yourself than you had before. Life is full of challenges. Sometimes it feels like the harder you try, the more obstacles are thrown your way. But the power of resilience is that it teaches us that every setback, every heartbreak, every struggle is not the end of the road, it's part of the process. Each time we face hardship, we are given the opportunity to build the strength we didn't know we had. When we encounter difficulties, we don't simply bend or break, we stretch, we adapt, we rise to the occasion. The more we face, the more we learn about our own capacity to endure, to evolve, and to keep moving forward, even when it feels impossible.